Hello GIS developers, welcome to the channel. In this video I'm going to show you how you can create a custom web mapping application which you can use to draw shapes and also check the area in hectares or also distances in meters or kilometers. So this is the app that we are going to create, and I have the controls here. We have the zoom, zoom out, zoom in. We have the edit features. We have the draw distance or line, and also we have the draw polygon. So here, if I just click on the draw line, if you just click on this rod here, so I'm just going to show you how this is supposed to work. You can see that the distance is changing. If you just look at the pop-up there, it says that it is around 439.42 meters up to this point. So if I just draw this line and click there, you can see this now says that first I need to finish. So if I finish, you can see that it says the distance is 0.59 kilometers. And if you can draw another one from, let's say, here to here, you can see it changes in meters. But if you double click or you finish clicking, then you can see it says that this is 0.60 kilometers. So this is what we are going to create for the line. If you want to click to delete, you just click on the delete icon here, and then they will tell you that you need to click on the feature to remove. So if I'm just going to click on this feature here like that, then it removes. Then I come also click on this one and it removes. After that, you only need to click on save, and that is going to save the deletion. So if you refresh the page, you're not going to see the drawings. Okay, so that is it. Now for the polygon, you can draw the polygon the way you want. So if I come here and just click on draw polygon, I'm going to draw this polygon here like that. Then I finish. I need to click there to finish there. Then you can see it says that this is the area is 0.49 hectares. So this is what we are going to create. I hope you will enjoy. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I see you. Okay, so since we have this drawing here, and it has told us the area in hectares. So you can also do the edit. So if you click on edit layers like this, you see it activates the edits, and so you can drag this one the way you want. For example, if I'm just going to drag this a little bit like this, like so, and then click on save, then you can see that you have your edited polygon here. So after all, you can also take you can also look at the how to create now to see the area for the edited polygon. You can console log, or you can print out, or you can store somewhere. Either if, let's say, you are connected to the database, you can still store those features inside your database. Yeah, so for deletion is the same way. You just need to click on the polygon, and then you click on save, and then it will have deleted that feature from your web application. Yeah, so this is it. Let's get started. Okay, so I have my Visual Studio Code opened, and I'm just going to create a folder as usual, So I'm going to my folder here, to my root folder, and I'm going to create a new folder here. And this folder is going to be, I can say distance and area, like that. And then what you need to do is to drag this one to your Visual Studio Code like that. Okay, so now the folder is already connected to our Visual Studio Code. The next thing is now to create the index.html file. Remember, we are going to use Leaflet.js and not React. So here I just go and say index.html like that, and then I'm going to generate a boilerplate. So I'll just say exclamation mark, and then you click on enter, and this is going to generate you an HTML boilerplate so that you can just get started your code. Okay, so here you need now to start connecting to the Leaflet.js, and as usual you need to go to this page here called leafletjs.com examples or quick start. First of all, when you open your Leaflet.js, for example, it will only have to come to this page here. So it will be on the overview, so you can see on the overview. So if you go to tutorials and then you click on Leaflet Quick Start Guide, you click on that one, and this is where now you can see they say that preparing your page. So to prepare your page, first, before writing any code for the map, you need to add these links to your head section so that you connect the styling for the leaflet and also the JavaScript for the leaflet. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to copy these ones here, link for the leaflet CSS, then we come to our head section and paste it there, and then we go back to the JavaScript, and there they say include leaflet JavaScript file after the CSS. Okay, so make sure that you have pasted this first, and then you can now copy this one here. So I say Control C, and then I just come and paste it there. So this way I'm now connected to the leaflet CSS and also the Leaflet.js. Now the next thing is inside our body section, we're going to have a div, and this div will have an ID and ID of map. You can give it any ID that you want, and then you can have the stylings. So if you just go back to the map, you can to the Leaflet.js documentation, you can see that they also have the div as with an ID of map, and then they say that make sure the map container is defined. So you can define your map container there. So that means we also need to have our CSS file. If you don't want to have CSS file, there are many ways you can do that. You can actually style inside here, or you can go to your head section just before you close the head section, and you can have style like that, and then inside this style you can now define your ID just as the normal way we write CSS files. Then you can say height is going to be something like 100 VH. So this is going to take the whole height of our web page. Okay, so if you do that, you save, and now the next thing is for you to connect with the JavaScript. So for example, here you can see they say that next you will add a title to a tile layer to add to our map. In this case, it's OpenStreetMap layer. So only need to copy this. Since this is a link, I don't feel good typing it out because you can miss out some of the characters, which is not okay. So you can just copy this, the L.tile layer, and then you need to paste that one inside your JavaScript file. So here we need to create our JavaScript file. Here I'm going to say index.js like that, and then I'm going to first of all paste this one here. So this is the tile layer for the OpenStreetMap, and now we need to connect this JavaScript to our HTML. So down here you need to say script, and then the source is going to be our index.js like that. So if we do that, then we have already connected our index.js file to the HTML file. So then the next thing is also to get your coordinates for the map. So remember, we also need to get the coordinates. For example, if we just take a look at this one here, you see we are centered somewhere in the city of London, and that is where they defined for their map. So you can see they have this one here. So you can also do the same, but for us we are going to write our custom JavaScript file. So up here, before you define your tile layer, you need to first of all say create a map. That is a comment. So this is a comment, and then down here you can say const map is equal to L, which is the leaflet, which comes from the Leaflet.js dot map, and then the map is going to take our ID map, and then we also need to set view like that. This one is a function that comes from Leaflet, and then we need to define now the coordinates, the latitude, longitude, and also the zoom level. So for that case, you need to say -1. So this is my region of interest, and I'm going to say -1.2863 and 89. That's my latitude, and my longitude is 36.81781723. And then I need to have the zoom as we can say something like 13 zoom level. Okay, so if you do that, and then let's preview and see if this one is applying. So if I right click here and open with live server, yes, so we have actually centered our map. So this is my region of interest, and so we are good to go. So this is the most basic setup that you are supposed to use. First things is that you need to get the links from the Leaflet.js for the CSS and also the JavaScript file. So CSS is for styling, and the JavaScript is so that we can get to these functions like map from the Leaflet, and also set view, and many things like add to map. All this comes from the Leaflet.js. So this link here is the one that does all those things. So it's not like in let's say in React, you only need to say npm install React Leaflet, and then you'll be going ahead to say import tile layer from React or whatever. So this link is like an npm package for just connecting basic HTML and CSS. Then this one is for JavaScript, for CSS, so that we can get to style the map as it is supposed to be. So these things that you see here. Okay, so the next thing is now to get to the controls, and for that way we also need some links to connect to the Leaflet Draw CSS and Leaflet Draw JS. So for that case, I'm going to get the Leaflet CSS for the I have some links here which I just copied from the documentation. For that case, if you come here to the download, remember we have the downloads. If I just go upwards, you can see we have the overview, tutorial docs, and also have the download. So if you go to download, you can see that we have these links here. These are just the same links that we just pasted, but they say the latest stable Leaflet release is available on several CDNs. So to start using it straight away, place this in the head of your HTML. So these are just the same links that we just pasted, so there's no difference. But then you also have the Leaflet is available on the following free CDN. So we have these CDN packages where you can get those links that I'm just going to paste. But you don't need to worry about them. I will provide the link to my GitHub repository so that you guys can just copy and follow along. So no worry about that. Now I need to paste some of the links here so that we can take a look at it. So I had already copied, and so I just need to paste some of the links. For example, the CSS here. So you can see this link for Leaflet CSS is the same as this one. So I'm just going to delete this here. And then I also have this one for Leaflet Draw. So we need the Leaflet Draw, not just the Leaflet CSS, because it's already there. So we need to get the Leaflet Draw CSS. I think I can just put a comment here and say this is Leaflet Draw CSS. Okay. And then for the JavaScript, I think we are ready to go. So I also need to paste some of the links down here for the JavaScript. So I'm going to say get those back like this. So as you can see here, I have 3 links. First one is the Leaflet.js, which you can just comment. and then we have the Leaflet draw.js, which is okay, and then we also have the Turf.js. But the way for drawing anything on the web application, you need to use this package called Turf.js, and you can get that link from Turf.js, so turf.js. And if you just open the Turf.js, this is the page, the official documentation for Turf.js. And let's say you go to the docs and then getting started, you can see this is how you can use it. So if you are using Node.js, you can say npm install at turf /turf. Let's see. So yeah, so you can also include it directly from a CDN link. This for example specifies the latest version, which is version 7. So you can now copy this one here for the JavaScript Turf.js, and then you can paste it. That is what I have here. You can see this is the Turf.js package. So this is the one that is going to help us draw some of the features on our web application. So for that case, I hope now we are ready to go. So we have the Leaflet.js, we have the draw.js, we have the Turf.js, and also have the Leaflet CSS, draw CSS, and also have the Leaflet.js for JavaScript. Okay, so this link is the same as this one for JavaScript, this one here. So you can even copy this and you can cut and replace it with this one there. That's why I've commented this one, because we already have this one here. Okay, so the next thing is now to go inside our JavaScript file and then try to define the drawers on our map, since we already have the tile layer and we are centered to our map. So the first thing is to get the feature group to store our items. So here I can say feature group to store the draw items, like that. And then down here we need to say we need to define the variable that hosts or stores the feature group. So the feature group is a function that comes from the Leaflet.js. So I'm going to say const draw items is equal to new l.feature group, like that. And this is a function, and then we need to say map.add layer, and we are going to add now the draw items, like that. Okay, and so the next thing is to get those controls from our feature group. Right now I'm not sure if we can see anything from our map. Okay, so nothing is yet to apply, but we have at least added now the group to the map. So the next thing is to get the draw controls. So here you can also have a comment and say draw controls, and down here you can say const draw control is equal to new l.control. So these are methods that come from Leaflet. Draw control draw, and this is going to take in some of the objects. So first we need to get the edit. I showed you the edit feature, and this is going to be feature group, and this will take the draw items like that. And we also need the features now to be drawn. So this one is the edit feature, but we have not drawn features, so we need to draw the features. So first is the circle. You can draw the circle if you want. So you can say draw a circle. Okay, draw a circle. You can say true or false. Yeah, so here, since I don't want to draw any circle, I think we can just say true and see. So true. And we also need the rectangle. We can also get the rectangle. You can also say true if you want. You can say false. You can also get the marker. You can also say true. And then you can also get the circle marker. The circle marker. You can also say true, but I'm going to get them as false. So I'll say false. I'll just leave them as false like that. Okay. So I control save. Then after that, I'll say map dot add control, and then you're going to draw control like that. So this way we have defined our draw features. We have also defined the edit feature, and then we can now add them to the map. So this is the draw control, which is the variable that holds all these objects, and then we add them to the map as control. So the next thing is that we need to now to handle the draw event, since we have not handled any events. Okay, so I just come here and say that we need to handle the draw event. So here I can say, can leave a comment and say handle draw events like that. So here I'm going to say map dot on. So on what? On leaflet dot draw dot event dot create. So we want to create those features, and we also need to have a function. So the function we take in the event, and that we shall use that event to call all those items that we have just defined up there. Okay. Yeah, so we say dot create, then we pass in the function, and this function will take an event like that. And then now inside the function we need to get the layers. So I say const layer is equal to event dot layer like so. And then we also need to draw items, and drawing items, then we add them to the layer. So the layer is our tile layer. So items dot add layer, and then we add them to our layer like that. So the layer that we just defined here. Okay, and then we can also get that GeoJSON file. So we can say GeoJSON const GeoJSON. This GeoJSON is the one that we shall use to calculate the area, since Turf.js works with GeoJSON. So we shall say layer dot to GeoJSON like that. Okay, and then we can say now let result be equals to. So the reason why we are using this let function or let variable here is because that we shall also want to like change the variable or the result, the output that shall be stored inside our result, rather than using a const. So const refers to constant, and that means that we do not intend to change whatever is stored inside this variable. Okay, so you need to, if you're not well conversant with JavaScript, then you need to look for ways of learning JavaScript. Otherwise, becoming a JS developer is a long journey for you. Anyway, down here we are going to say if GeoJSON that we just created dot geometry dot type. So if the type is equal to line string, so if it is a line, what do? We say that we need to get the length. So const length is equal to, we take Turf.js, I need to say Turf dot length. So you can see that we are getting this length function from Turf.js because we want to calculate the length in either kilometers or meters. So we say, and the length will take in the GeoJSON, and we need to define the units, as the units is in kilometers. So you can say kilometers like that. Okay, then you can say result is equal to the distance. So we need the template strings because you are passing in a dynamic length since it is going to change. So we need to say distance, and the distance is going to be the length, then we say dot to fixed. So we round off to like 2 decimal places, and then we pass in the kilometer. So that is the length. This is for the line string. The next we can say if it is not the line string, and let's say it is a polygon. So if it is the polygon, dot geometry dot type, if it is equivalent to the polygon, remember the polygon is from the Leaflet.js. So if it is that way, then we also need to get the area. So const area is equal to turf dot area, and now we need to get the GeoJSON that we drew. Okay, so after we get the GeoJSON, we also need to convert that area to hectares, right? So down here you can say const hectares. How do we write hectares? Hectares is equal to area. So how many square meters, how many meters make 1 hectare? I'm not sure. So we need to divide this with 10,000. So divide that with 10,000, and then we also need to get the result. So we say result is equal to the area, and the area will be hectares dot to fixed. So we need to say hectares dot to fixed, and this also is going to return rounded off to 2 decimal places, and then we pass in the unit as hectares. So after that, we need now to get the pop-up. So we can say layer dot bind pop-up, then we pass in the result. So because we want to see that result as a pop-up overlaid over the drawn feature, then we say dot open pop-up. Okay, so if I control save that one and then try to preview, let's see, refresh the page. We are yet to get our control features because I just need to get back the JavaScript before anything else. So before the map loads, or after the map loads, we need to get the JavaScript. So we have our leaflet draw CSS, which is fine. I think I'll need to cut this. So I'll say Control X, and then I'll need to put it down here. Control save. So we have the leaflet draw CSS, leaflet draw JS. We have the Turf.js, and we also have the Leaflet.js. here. Let me see again. We cannot get our features yet. So let me just see what could be the issue. Okay, so here we are. We have written our code, and it seems that the draw controls are not appearing here. So we just need to right click and then inspect. So if we right click and inspect, go to console, and then we get the error. It says that an caught error, options.feature group must be an L.feature group. Okay, so it seems that we have a typo somewhere here. So if we go to our JavaScript, we got an error here. So this is supposed to be the feature group with a lowercase f and not the capital F. So this one comes from the feature group, but supposed to be a lowercase. And then we also need to get the let's preview and see what actually happens. Yes, so we got our controls on the map. Yeah, so we got them there. If you click, they are not actually active, so that means that we also have something wrong somewhere. Now looking at the draw control here, we are supposed to get the marker as circle marker lowercase, all the letters. And also here we are not drawing because we misspelled this one create, so it's supposed to be created. So after creating the object. And also we have the GeoJSON here, we have the JSON.geometry, and here we have polygon. So we need to say that GeoJSON.geometry.type if it is a polygon, and then we can look at it. Then you also have the kilometers there. So those are some of the few typos that I did. Let's see if something changes. So refresh the page, click on that one, then they're active. Let's draw a line here from here to here. It is 2.15 kilometers. We need to finish. Then we got the pop-up here that says we have 2.12 kilometers. Very good. Then you can also try out a polygon. Let's say I just want to draw a polygon here like that. Then click on our first point to close. You can see this is 4.93 hectares. Okay, so now let's try out the delete function. So if we go to delete, then they say click on a feature to remove. So here I just need to click on that feature and removes, then click on that one, and then it goes, and then I click on save, and then that way we have our application running smoothly. So I'd like to say something here on the code, that if you look at the draw items here, we have these things as false. So by default, they are true. So if you don't want to see them, you say false. So if I just remove this one here, if I just comment the circle, that means now that the circle will be true. So I hope to see it here. Yes, you can see we have the circle here, and this one you can just drag, and then since we did not define the circle, we cannot see the area. So that one can be your exercise. So you only need to go back to your code down here and say you can copy this and then change the type. Okay, so let's see if I just duplicate this like that and say geometry type is circle like that, and then I retain the rest of the things. Let me see if the circle actually produces the So it does not do that because the GeoJSON does not support circles, and Leaflet draws circles visually, but when we convert them to GeoJSON, only the center point remains. So that is why Turf.js cannot calculate the area of the circle directly. So that means this one cannot be used for circle. So we cannot say that if GeoJSON type dot circle is equal to circle, and then we do get the circle we do get the area for the circle. So that means we cannot do it this way. But if you also want to get the circle, I think I'm doing your exercise here, which is just okay. So if we want to get the circle area, we need to like define it in a different manner. So we need to say like if so we don't use the circle because it doesn't have the circle. The GeoJSON does not have the circle. It only has the points, and those points all together they form the circle. So we don't have something like circle in GeoJSON, but we can play around with it. So we can say layer instance of, so if it's an instance of l.circle, so the leaflet itself has a circle, but the GeoJSON doesn't have a circle, so it only has the points. So if we can say layer, if it's an instance of a circle, then we can say const. We need also to get the radius because that is what we are going to use to calculate the area. As you know, the area of a circle is pi r squared. So we say layer dot get radius like that, and then we say now const area is equal to, we need to get the math dot pi, and then we multiply by the radius squared, right? So times radius and also times radius, okay, like that. So after we do that, then we can now get the result is equal to, now we can say circle, and the circle area is going to be the area. So this is going to be the area that we have there, and the area is going to be divided by 10,000 meters, so that we convert to the hectares dot to fixed. Then we say we need only 2 decimal places, and then outside we can say now to hectares. Okay, so if we control save that, so now this is the only way we can do to get the area of that circle that we are drawing. So now if I go back here and then draw the circle like that, then you can see it says the circle area is 2647.93 hectares. Okay, so you can try out for other things like the rectangle and see what we can do for the rectangle and for the circle marker and the marker. So remember, as I said, by default these objects are true. So if you don't define them, it means they are true, so it will appear on the map. If you do define them, then you need to say that they are false so that they don't appear on the map. Okay, so if I just return this to true, then it will obviously disappear from our map. So that is something that you also need to note. Yeah, so this is it. I hope you have enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.